the Middle Ages, a moat, now called a single, encircled the city. The church you see, the St. Nicholas, was built centuries later. Named after the patron saint of seafarers, it stood overlooking the harbor. Also to our right is the 15th century Schreier's Tower. This outer defense tower got its name from the scare, or sharp corner, formed by the city walls that met here.
Look to the left. Nothing you see, including the land itself, was here during medieval times. Over the centuries, much of the land around us was wrestled from the sea. To reclaim this polder, or land that was once covered by lakes and seas, industrious Amsterdammers built dikes and used windmills and pumps to get rid of unwanted water. And they've done an amazing and ingenious job of it. When it comes to controlling sea levels, the Netherlands takes the lead worldwide.
There are no straight lines in Amsterdam city center, but instead concentric canals lined and crisscrossed by streets some centuries old. Amsterdam has almost 100 kilometers or 60 miles of canals, even more than Venice.
The city grew up where the Amstel River was dammed in the 13th century, giving Amsterdam its name. In Old Dutch, it means dam built across the Amstel.
Over time, land was reclaimed from the sea. Ramparts were raised
And their businesses from here. Century building is considered to be the first true example of the Amsterdam school style of architecture. The front of the building is impressively adorned with statues of Neptune, his wife, and 4 figures that represent the points of the compass. The building is decorated inside and out with all kinds of nautical symbols, anchors, ships, and famous Dutch mariners. It's now a 5-star luxury hotel. The city. The original city boundary was to the right, to the left, salt marsh and the North Sea. The red brick tower coming up ahead of us is the medieval model bomb store. An ideal lookout for sighting potential invaders, it was built to protect the city's shipyards, wharves, and warehouses from attack. From here, Dutch soldiers armed with longbows, crossbows, and early firearms called arquebuses kept watch over the wide expanses below.
The tower's white spire and clock were added a century later. They were designed by Hendrik de Keyser, an architect whose work can be seen around Amsterdam, and who you're certain to hear more about on this cruise. The clocks couldn't keep time, and the tower's bells rang out randomly, so locals gave it the nickname Silly Jack.
Not long after the spire and clocks were added, the tower began to list to one side. With some effort, it was pulled to rights. You might be wondering why so many buildings in the city tip to one side or the other. The ground in Amsterdam, a mix of peat, sand, and soil, is very soft. Because of this, buildings were generally designed to be as light as possible. None were very tall, and they often had lots of windows. For stability, they were built on a bed of wooden piles driven as deep as 15 meters, that's 45 feet, into the ground. But if these piles were exposed to the air, they began to rot, and the buildings they supported sank and shifted. Today, water levels in and around the city are carefully controlled to minimize rotting. When new piles are needed, they're made of concrete. Still, you will see many a house with a sideways tilt.
The Montalbaan Storen was a place where sailors gathered before setting out to sea. The journeys were long and difficult, and not everyone returned. Legend has it that the women who loved them also came here to say goodbye, perhaps forever.
Or a way to manage water levels. The Oceans, because of its size and location, did all of these. Because it was one of the only canals wide enough for large ships to sail, and because of its proximity to the harbor, the Odeschans became a convenient place to unload cargo.
Yeah.
Old locks. The small, tippy black building was once the lockmaster's house. It's now a pub and cafe full of 17th century charm. Stone floors, wooden benches, and exposed sleeping rooms. Its outdoor patio is a great place for watching boats on the canal.
Sign up.
River. The round white-faced building you see next to the City Hall is the Muziek Theater, or Music Theater. It's home to the Dutch Opera, known for its daring productions, the Holland Sinfonia, and the world-renowned Dutch National Ballet. The Dutch may be known for their tolerant attitudes, but they also have strong opinions. This piece of architecture was met with heavy protests that have since simmered down. In fact, that's how it got its name, Stopera. It's derived from the movement against the construction, Stop the Opera.